Satch and I were talking. He said you guys are fun to watch. And I told our players that, that how much that means to me when you hear people talk about how you play. How do you, obviously we want to win every game. We want to make every basket, and certainly that's not always the case. But the fact of how you play, the identity, the brand, and that's what Satch and I talked about. That's the first thing he said was so important and helpful to me to hear that, is how we play. And we were fun to watch. Like he talked about us, getting out in transition. He talked about us playing great defense. He talked about us being unselfish, sharing the ball. And it was really, really gratifying for me as our coach and as leader to hear that, because I know how much we work at it, how hard we preaching and coaching. But he watched us play in our first game. And it was a fun game for us to win on the road. A very meaningful game for us to be able to get. And he was there. So to have someone of his stature speak about our team and then come speak to our team is incredibly significant and meaningful for us. But our guest here tonight is, without a doubt, a basketball legend. I think there are only two people, I think maybe Mr. Bill Russell and Mr. Sam Jones, some of his former teammates, and I know some of our older folks in here can appreciate some of those names and some of those teams. But only two people in the history of NBA basketball have more championship rings or championships than our special guest. He has 8 NBA World Championship titles that he was a part of. So we talk about a legend. We're not just throwing that around loosely. There's no doubt about it that he's has been one of the greats of the game of basketball. Former coach of the Boston Celtics. Some of you guys may not even know this, but former coach of Harvard basketball. So we're talking about a coach, a great player, and certainly a great man. Recipient of numerous awards and members of many boards of directors and many halls of fame. He's been a New York NYU graduate, been on the board of trustees there, Hall of Fame at NYU, and a number of different places. That in Hall of Fame with New York City basketball. Am I right about that, Satch? Of all the greats that have come out of New York, he's a Harvard guy with us. He's been with us in terms of our coach, one of our coaches and former coaches here, but also a dear friend to many of us here at Harvard. And we're just pleased and proud and privileged to have a chance to hear some enlightening words from Mr. Satch Sanders.
Ladies and gentlemen, good to be in your company, number one. Number two, I run my house. Let me get that out right now. Anytime you're in a room full of mostly guys, you like to talk that talk. I worry about that.
Invited to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, and he just returned from that a few days ago, and did an outstanding job. It was really, really wonderful to get some of the feedback that I received from some NBA people and personnel that watched him, and was very impressed. And the first thing that they talked about with me, and I've talked to three teams now that wanted to share this information with me, is that they were just blown away with his passing. That he was such a tremendous passer. He put one of the phrases that he used, it was on time, on target, which is kind of an NBA buzz phrase for passing the ball, on time and on target. And he just talked about how he had an uncanny ability to find the open man, give the ball up in the simple plays, make the things that we talked about a lot, obviously, in practice with all our guys, first available, easiest pass. But really talked about Jeremy's ability, to pass the ball and make good decisions on the break. And so very pleased to hear those kind of things from the quote-unquote the next level where, I think Jeremy's going to have an opportunity. And we're certainly hoping. As we keep moving forward in so many ways, with first player in the history of the Ivy League to record 1,450 points, 450 rebounds, 400 assists and 200 steals. First time all-time player in games at Harvard, NABC All-District First Team, first player ever to be named twice, a Wooden Award finalist, a Cousy Award finalist, unanimous first team All-Ivy selection, three-time winner of the MVP award, and again, the best player to ever play at Harvard, Jeremy Lin. To the parents and the families and the friends of Harvard basketball, again, welcome. We certainly appreciate all the families who come from great distances to be here tonight.
I'm getting one. I'm getting one.